Lakhs of youth are wandering around the country unemployed. Farmers are committing suicide. The country is heading towards a bad situation. But here people are wasting their time on useless things. Don't these women have anything else to do? Why didn't they raise their voices when they were being exploited? Why are they shouting now? Is there anything else against the men who are conspiring, or are they doing this because they want to become famous? Turn off the TV, there is no point in that. Yashwant snapped, turning it off himself, throwing the remote aside and getting ready to go to the office. So, are these women shouting in vain? Are you men as pure as milk? Cracking the chapati on the tawa? Kirti said, yes, it's natural. In a society where a woman's silence is considered the foundation of her decency and dignity, her cry against exploitation is considered a lie. Kirti said a little hastily. I am not doing that, but why dig up something that happened 10, 20 years or 30 years ago? If that was the case with them, then why didn't they raise their voices? Why are they shouting now? I hear, Yashwant said, buttoning his shirt. Kirti was surprised by Yashwant's words. She got angry. She said, you may think this is shouting, but I think there is reality in this. By the way, it is not just men who are at fault, but society as well. If girls raise their voices against exploitation in the office, their jobs will go away. Even if a housewife has the courage to do this, well, where will she get it from? Society has taught her from childhood to be shy. But why are men free? What should women wear? What should they not wear? It should be their choice and not someone else. To be honest, for the first time in India's history, men seem to be afraid. He is starting to feel like he is digging up his old history. Kirti said proudly, raising her head. Because a woman is not just a body, she also has breath and pulse. Men should know that women have their own existence. She does not tolerate anger, she even thinks. Yashwant's head started spinning after hearing Kirti's long conversation. He snapped and said, enough now. Are you going to keep on lecturing like this, or are you going to give me something for breakfast? I am quite late today. Placing the plate of food in front of Yashwant, Kirti said, by the way, why are you so angry? Are you also with someone? Are you afraid that someone might dig up your old myth? As she said that, Yashwant felt like a lump in his throat. Why are you talking like a madman? Why are you dragging me into this for no reason? Why are you making me responsible for someone else's work? Everyone knows that what I am. I don't need to explain it. Yes, the world also knows about them. Our Sahib is with some girl whose assets have been exposed. I am just asking about them, she said, handing him the food box. Kirti's words made Yashwant angry. He felt like throwing the box she had handed him at her. She wanted to say that all men in the world are bad and only women are pure, but where did he get all that courage from? Kirti, just hearing about the exploitation of women would get her fired up. So he remained silent without saying anything. Don't you even trust your husband? Do you think I have stooped to a lower level and are you talking like this? Kirti calmed herself down, wondering where Yashwant was taking her words to heart. I was just saying these words, I like you. Now go to the office. I don't want you to complain that I am late. By the way, I have an urgent meeting today, Yashwant said with a smile, and as usual saying bye bye, he left for the office. But the lines of worry were clearly visible on his forehead. He was worried about his future. He was worried about what would happen if he too got caught in the clutches of Me Too. Kirti could not tolerate it for a moment. She would not hesitate to punish him. His image in the eyes of the children would also be ruined. Yashwant was thinking about the same thing in the meeting. He did not feel any pleasure in office work today. He did not tell any of the office staff to do this or that. Otherwise, he would have given so much work that no one could breathe. Why is the boss so quiet today? No shouting, no flying, he's sitting in the cabin in the cold. Even when I said good morning, there was no response from him. Could it be that some goddess has filed a Me Too case against him too? Prashant said with a laugh and the others laughed at his words. I told you so, otherwise he would have come and attacked us. But today he has lowered his head. He seems to be preoccupied with something. What could be the matter? Someone asked again. Yes, I thought he called you today to scold you. But today he called me in and said that he had granted the leave I requested, said Niranjan, and everyone was surprised. Yashwant did not grant anyone's leave so easily. What do we need to do with him taking it? Everyone got busy with their own work, saying that he must have had a fight with his wife. When Yashwant reached home with a full heart, Kirti was talking loudly to someone on the phone. That person should not be let go so easily. What does he know about himself? A wolf like man. He behaves like a cultured man. Look at what he has done to a girl of his own daughter's age, a man who has grandchildren. What happened? Yashwant asked in a soft voice. Did you come? I was just about to call you. A girl has filed a harassment case against our neighbor Rohan. You don't know how polite he is. I would say that such a person should be painted black, made to stand in a circle, beaten with slippers. The man's wife was shouting loudly that it was the girl's fault. They had sacked her from her job, but she was saying that she was trying to tarnish his name. I am also angry with his wife because she tried to protect that criminal. She should be sent to jail, Kirti said angrily. Maybe Rohan is telling the truth. That girl must have lied. Lie? Kirti interrupted him mid sentence. Maybe she is telling the truth. What is that girl crazy? Why is that girl crazy? Did she want to humiliate herself? She must have done something. That's why she must have spoken. That's how criminals get away with it. Because what else will happen if their wives stand like a wall to protect them? Even if the husband is a criminal, I am telling the truth. If my husband had been in their place, I wouldn't have left him alone. I would have thrown him in jail. Hearing such words from Kirti's mouth, Yashwant's hair stood on end. They also have daughters. If something like this had happened to them, do they know that a woman is an object? Would they use her like this even if she doesn't want it? Seeing Kirti's avatar today, Yashwant's mind had started trembling. He had started praying in his mind that he would somehow escape from all this. What happened to you now? Seeing Yashwant's face drooping, Kirti asked. You must also be sad to hear this, right? Yes. Any decent person would feel this way after hearing this. But what happened? What did we know about them? Now we are surprised to hear about them, are we not? You can't say anything about anyone, Kirti said in a shrill voice and rushed towards the kitchen. Yashwant sat down on the sofa there. He started thinking, why are there so many scoldings about Sanskari Rohan uncle today? Should not it be my turn tomorrow? Then how will I be able to talk to my daughters in person? He came to the room and sat down. Kirti, who came there, asked, did you eat anything? The children and Kirti lay down and fall asleep. But only Yashwant's eyes were still alert. It felt like something had accidentally pricked his chest and he calmed down again. Once he opened his eyes and looked at the children. Once again he glanced at his wife. Today Kirti was starting to feel like Bhadrakali, not like his wife. So he tried to sleep, but he couldn't sleep. Every single item in the house was mocking at him. They were laughing hysterically. How is the river flowing in the opposite direction? He started to feel like asking Yashwant, you too cannot escape it. It may be a little late, but the results of karma come to everyone. You too will get it. Hearing their words, he would get up in a panic and take a deep breath. His condition was becoming pitiful due to fear. He would tremble just thinking about it. What would happen if his mistake came to light? Then his household life would be ruined. No, no, nothing like that will happen. She will never speak. If she does, then I will prove her a liar. She was setting a trap for me. When I didn't give in, she was accusing me. What would happen if I gave evidence? Who is the witness? How dare they give evidence against me? He was answering questions to himself. His mind was a hive of confusion. Each and every incident with Ashwini was coming and going like a movie before his eyes. The story was 7 8 years ago. Ashwini was working in a general position in the same company where Yashwant was the boss. Since Yashwant was the boss, she had to do all the work he told her. Handsome as the moon, long black hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful body, Yashwant would secretly look at her. Only Ashwini felt that it was abnormal. She was busy fixing her clothes. Yashwant's opinion of her was not good, so Ashwini used to finish all her work on time because she felt that he should not have a chance to talk. However, Yashwant would call her to the cabin and give her tasks that she should not have been given. When she was busy with her work, he would keep his eyes on her. Every now and then, when Ashwini looked up, Yashwant would look straight at her. Ashwini would lose her temper and turn her gaze elsewhere and go somewhere else. Ashwini was now afraid to even go near Yashwant. Recently, Ashwini had stopped wearing jeans and t shirts. She deliberately wore clothes that she did not like because her idea was not to let his eyes fall on her, but only his evil eyes would stare at her. Many times, Yashwant would deliberately bump into her. However, Ashwini was the one who asked for forgiveness. Once he had placed his hand on her chest, then he started saying, "Sorry, sorry." Ashwini knew that Yashwant had done it on purpose. He would touch Ashwini whenever he got the chance. But she kept going without saying anything. She felt like crying but about her situation. Was being a girl such a big sin? He had set his sights on her from the very beginning. She knew that this job was so important to her. No one else in her house worked except her. Her father's untimely death had put the responsibility of the entire household on her shoulders. Because of this, Yashwant was taking advantage of it when it was not his turn. That day, Yashwant had kept Ashwini in the office for a long time. He had said that he would drop her home himself. He had also told the office peon to go home. Ashwini quickly finished her work and was walking home. Meanwhile, Yashwant, who came from behind, grabbed her. "Sir, what are you doing? Leave me," she said, using her strength to escape from him when he tried to use her in his arms again. He started saying, "I have been waiting for this opportunity for a long time." Meanwhile, Ashwini was saved because the peon came there. Otherwise, Yashwant would not have left her. Perhaps that peon also knew Yashwant's evil intention. So he came in saying, "I forgot the lunch box. I have come to take it." That is why Ashwini was saved. Yashwant mentally cursed the peon and the next day, claiming that he was a thief, fired him from his job. But now Ashwini was very alert. She worked on time. She would leave with everyone. She would leave with everyone. But Yashwant was the only one who was plotting how to trap her in his clutches. That day, Yashwant called Ashwini and said, "I have to go to another city next week for office work. You should be ready," he said. But she started looking for excuses. I am not asking you, I am telling you, be happy that your boss is taking you out. Otherwise, who would ask girls like you? He said with a strange smile. Yashwant wanted her physical pleasure. Ashwini had come to know that, so she tried to stay away from him as much as possible. She also knew that Yashwant was an influential person. If he liked, he could have fired her from her job, so she could not complain against him. She sometimes felt like telling her mother about this, but knowing that if she heard about this, she would have become a living corpse. So she remained silent, so she would sit alone and cry over her plight. Sometimes she would think of resigning from her job, other times it would be good to commit suicide. But when she thought of her mother and sisters, she would have to change her mind. She thought that if she got a job somewhere else, she would be free from a monster like Yashwant. She was going to get married somewhere else. She was worried about what would happen if the boy's family found out about this. Finally, she got a job somewhere else. After a few months, she got married. She even changed her phone number deliberately because her long term plan was to prevent Yashwant from bothering her in the future. She thought that there was a big difference between the hardships she had lost and the happiness she would have. She could not just give it up. Just like a kite that has lost its way and disappeared into the sky, it is not a defeat, it is a victory. She also wanted to live freely. But Ashwini did not know that Yashwant was scared because of her today. Ashwini didn't know that he would tremble just hearing the name Ashwini. He would tremble just hearing the name Ashwini. He couldn't sleep all night. He would be terrified that a Yamaraja named Ashwini would stand in front of him with a gun and shoot. Whenever any unknown person came to the house or a courier came and gave him something, he would think that Ashwini had sent something. Whenever the doorbell rang, he would feel like a knife was stuck in his chest. After yesterday's incident, a man gave Kirti an envelope. He thought that Ashwini had given him something. Then he asked Kirti, what's in it? He asked in shock. I don't know, maybe it's a photo or something, she said, opening the envelope. But Kirti snatched the envelope from her hand before it could be opened. Are you acting like a madman? What's wrong with you? Why shouldn't I open this? Seeing you scared, it seems like some old secret of yours is hidden in this. Kirti's words pierced him like an arrow. He behaved as if the mind of a thief was full of worms. He was afraid of everything. He was worried about where his theft would be discovered. He breathed a sigh of relief as there was nothing like that in that cover. As the Me Too campaign grew, his heart rate also increased and his sleep at night was slipping away. He lived in the shadow of fear every moment. Every now and then he would wake up and walk around. Kirti was surprised by Yashwant's behavior. She felt that he was not mad, but how could she know what was in Yashwant's heart? The sin he had committed so many years ago was now stuck in his throat like a lump. He was thinking if he could meet Ashwini and apologize to her, everything would be fine. I will go and meet her myself. She will forgive me. After all, women's hearts are wide. After a lot of searching, he even found Ashwini's address. But when he saw Ashwini going to the police station with her lawyer, he felt as if his strength had gone out. Perhaps she was going to file a case of exploitation against him. If the passers-by had not caught him, he would have fallen in the middle of the road. Thank you, brother, Yashwant said to the man and started walking back and forth behind the police station. He wanted to talk to her as she came out to apologize to her, but he did not know which way she had gone. Even after a week, he did not meet Ashwini. He did not even know why she had gone to the police station. One day, he found out that Ashwini had come to the police station to save her brother from his wife's complaint. She had somehow gone to the station with her lawyer to save her brother from jail. His wife had complained that her husband was beating her. Knowing that Yashwant sighed with relief, he felt that he had escaped. Just then his phone started ringing. When he opened it, it was Kirti's phone. Why haven't you come home yet? Where are you? She asked. Then she mentioned the matter of Rohan uncle. She has got bail, but they cannot escape. The sin they have committed will drown them one day. Now Yashwant too started getting scared. What will he do if Ashwini stands up to him? Today Yashwant feels like a survivor, but even now the sword hangs over his head. When will Ashwini file a Me Too case against him? Will she turn against him? The rest of his life will be spent in fear. He doesn't know what will happen to him in the future. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the notification whenever a new video is uploaded.